Greetings all, I am Anime Otaku Drew, Andrew Simon Hubbard, and this is part 2 of Simon Says, The Legend of Zelda, the 4th Triforce. The video got a bit longer than I expected, clocking in just under an hour, so I decided it needed to be split in two. The first video, which if you haven't watched it, there will be I'll put a link up here for you, and I'll have a link in the description. If you haven't watched the first one yet, you should go watch it before you finish this one. In that video, I establish background of the Triforce, why its name should not change just because there's another Triforce, and I establish what the 4th Triforce probably would be. So, if you haven't watched that one, please go ahead and do so now, and then come back and watch this one. For those of you that are watching this after the first part, then here we go with the rest of this video. Now the next question is, who is the bearer of the Triforce of Devotion? Well, let's start by looking at the known bearers of the Triforce. The Triforce of Power is held by Ganon, or Ganondorf. That makes sense. He is one power-hungry son of a bitch. He's all about power. So, absolutely. The Triforce of Wisdom is held by Princess Zelda. She's had a few slip-ups here and there, but even the wisest person in the world is going to screw up from time to time. So, can't hold that against her. But overall, she does seem fairly wise, particularly in some of the games. So, that makes sense. And the Triforce of Courage is held by Link. Our intrepid hero. Well, yeah, he's all about courage in so many of the games. He's just a normal dude that is suddenly drawn into this huge quest to save the princess and or the kingdom of Hyrule. And he never turns his back on it. Never says, you know what, I'm just not into it. Find someone else, sorry. No. Link steps up, does what needs to be done, and handles things. Courageous. Link is absolutely worthy of the Triforce of Courage. So, who then could bear the Triforce of Devotion? Well, there have been so many characters in The Legend of Zelda throughout the years. Let's knock some of the unlikely prospects out of the way first. Now, a lot of these are characters I like, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, Saria. Okay, it would be cool. she's one of the Kokiri, the forest folk. So it would be cool to have another race other than the Hylia be keeper of one of the parts of the Triforce. Well, I guess we already have one since Ganondorf is Gerudo. But, anyways, I just don't see Saria ending up as the bearer of a Triforce. And she doesn't really embody devotion. In the same vein, there's Princess Ruto of the Zora. Interesting character. Kind of fun. Some funny scenes with Link. But she doesn't really embody devotion again. And like I said, while it would be good to step outside of the Hylia and the Gerudo for the bearer of the fourth Triforce, I just don't see it happening with Princess Ruto. Sahasrahla. The wise old man from A Link to the Past. Well, again, doesn't really embody devotion. So, I don't see that one working. Now, let's look at some that are a little more likely before I finally get to the one that I think is the most likely candidate. One is Malon. Now, another problem that all three of those I said before had is that they were all one-off characters. Two of them were just in Ocarina of Time, and one of them is just in A Link to the Past. Well, Malon, it could be argued, is just in Ocarina of Time, but it's possible. I've heard people consider the character Marin from Link's Awakening as another version of her. And I've heard the possibility raised that the character Ilia from Twilight Princess could be of Malon's lineage. So even though she doesn't bear her name, she could bear that same spirit and have inherited it. While I do see how she could fit the quality of devotion, Malon is absolutely devoted to her animals on Lone Lone Ranch. It was clear how much she loved her animals. But I don't think it's her. Now, the second one that I think could be possible is a new character to the franchise with Breath of the Wild, Paya. I like Paya. She's fun. A lot of people might hate her. I don't know. But I think she's fun. And a little off topic, but what the hell. I actually kind of ship her with Breath of the Wild Link. And I don't know. It's just a fun pairing. What the hell? Sue me. Now, She's devoted to her grandmother. She seems to care about Link, but just trips over her words so much that she doesn't express it very well. Not real love or devotion yet at this point, but it looks like the beginnings of, and could grow into that. So, but she seems like a very caring girl. She is a realistic possibility, but she's just in the one game. Well, so far anyways. I don't know. It just... I would accept it if she was the bearer of the fourth Triforce, but I don't think that she is. Now, who do I think it is? Well, my number one candidate is Impa. Look at the Legend of Zelda series as a whole. Impa has been in more games than any other character besides Link, Zelda, and Ganon/Ganondorf. Other than the big three, Impa has made more appearances. Granted, they're all different Impas, but damn it, they're all different Links and all different Zeldas and all different Ganondorfs. So, if you got a problem with the fact that they're different Impas, bite me. Yes, Impa has changed over the years. In the original NES games, Impa was an old crone that was Zelda's advisor or aide or assistant or who knows what. And she evolves, takes many different forms, but one thing throughout all of her incarnations is absolutely clear. Impa is utterly devoted to Princess Zelda. In Skyward Sword, Impa was so devoted to Zelda that, and spoilers ahead just in case you haven't played the game and you don't want spoilers, you might skip ahead a little bit. When they have traveled back into the past, Impa ends up staying there to ensure Zelda can return safely. And grows into the old woman that you've been seeing through the whole game at the place where demise was sealed. In Ocarina of Time, Impa was so devoted to Zelda that when Ganondorf was coming for her, Impa had no thought for her own safety. She takes Zelda and gets the hell out of Hyrule Castle. I mean, and the cutscene you see, right after they get out of sight, there's Ganondorf. So, they just missed him. And I'm sure Impa is well aware of her own limitations and knows there is no way in hell she was going to beat him. Yet, if they had ended up confronting him, I have no doubt in my mind that she would be willing to die fighting him to let Zelda escape. I have kind of a headcanon of what that would have played out as if Ganondorf had already been there when they came riding out. He confronts Zelda and Impa. Link, of course, is standing right there by the drawbridge. Impa faces off against Ganondorf, tosses Zelda aside to Link, shouting for him to get her to safety while she keeps Ganondorf busy. And then it's your job as the player controlling Link to get Zelda the hell out of there. I absolutely could see that happening. So, she has been ready to lay down her life for Zelda multiple times. Utterly devoted to the princess. And she seems to expect little, if anything, in return. That is true devotion. That is real love. And she has been in so many games, like I said, that I just think she is the best and most likely candidate to be the bearer of the fourth Triforce, the Triforce of Devotion. So, in conclusion, our fourth Triforce is the Triforce of Devotion. The most likely carrier for this Triforce is Impa. The biggest question at that point is why it has never appeared. Now, my thought on this is that it was separated from the other three Triforce for a reason. And it is to remain hidden. I don't know what that reason might be. Perhaps all four Triforce parts together unleashes a power that would kill the user or could destroy all of Hyrule or the world. I don't know. There's no telling. But I suspect that in Hyrule's greatest time of need, it is then and only then that the Triforce of Devotion would awaken. And the current carrier, whatever Impa is alive that generation, would be the one who ends up having it. Now, the other question, of course, is, will Nintendo use any of that? Who knows? That's up to, well, Nintendo. Ask Shigeru Miyamoto. He has a better chance of knowing than I do. Or ask any ranking official at Nintendo. Anyways, before I finish this video off, I'm going to do a new section on here, unrelated to the rest of this content. From now on, in every video I do, I'm going to include at the end of every video a new bit I'm calling Anime Otaku Drew's Small Tubers. in every video, I'm going to give some recognition to a YouTuber that just seems to be starting out, kind of. Low subscription count, less than 1,000 subscribers, and has good content though. So today's small tuber is one that I found last night under the name Maladrum. Now, I was looking at some Zelda theory videos last night, which is how I found him. He has a really interesting theory about Bongo Bongo in Ocarina of Time. Definitely worth checking out. Other videos on his channel, he's got a couple others about Legend of Zelda. He's got a tutorial series for Unreal Engine 4. He's got videos of Oblivion and Skyrim and all sorts of other stuff. And his videos are awesome. I've watched a few. They're really good. I don't know how this guy has so few subscribers, but he does. So do me a favor, go check out Maladrum. I've already subscribed, and I hope if you like what you see over there, you will as well. Let's give this guy a hand. Now, if you guys have any suggestions for small YouTube channels just starting out, or if you're just starting out on YouTube yourself and you don't have very many subscribers yet, I know I don't either, but as I get more, I'm still going to keep doing this. I'm going to give recognition to the little guys. Because, well, I'm a little guy myself right now, and I'm not going to forget that I was one at one point. Don't even get me started on YouTubers that have forgotten their roots and forgot where they came from. I did a video about that on my old channel, and it turned into a bit of a rant. But so if you have any suggestions, put them in the comments or email them to me, animeotakudrew@yandex.com. Email address is going to be in the in the description as well. And I'll take a look, and if I like what I see, I'll probably include them in a future video for my small tubers. That said, I'll have links in my description. No, not you.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Don't call me princess. I'll put a link down there for my Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter. I talk about my videos on there, try and give updates about any videos I've got in the works. Been posting about this one for a day or two. I give reviews of the latest episodes of the TV shows that I watch. I talk about all sorts of shit on there. I talk about the general bullshit that's going on in my life. So, yeah, if you find me interesting, as well as the content, or even if you just find me interesting and not my content here, come follow me on Twitter at animeotakudrew. If you want to help my channel out so I can grow, do more videos faster, better videos with fancy animations and all that shit, then you can support me on Patreon. That link will be in the description as well. Now, there are a lot more worthy causes than me, and I would definitely rather that you give money to those people. But if for some reason you feel compelled to help me out, I absolutely appreciate it. And I will have all sorts of perks, including first video access and advanced notifications beyond what's on Twitter and all that for any Patreon supporters that I get. And support through Patreon will help me to expand to the other types of videos I want to do, like Simon Smith's, where I'll start my journey into the craft of bladesmithing. And I don't know, help me do convention coverage. I'd love to go to this year's Tokyo and Tulsa, for example. I went in 2015 and did a series of 10 videos of that convention on my old channel. But I just don't have the money to go. So with some help, I'd be able to do stuff like that and bring you guys along. Now, if you're like me and you're broke, but you still want to help out, I'm on a site called YouGov. YouGov lets you take surveys. Usually short surveys, finish them in anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for the most part. Some of the longer ones might take up to 20 minutes, which still isn't too bad. I have it set up to alert me to every new survey that comes up, and I generally get one about every other day. And what YouGov does, for every survey you take, they give you points. And you save those points up, ultimately to cash them in for prepaid cards. They have cards for all sorts of shit. They've got cards for Amazon, they've got cards for GameStop, they've got cards for Macy's, Fandango, AMC Theaters, Foot Locker, and of course prepaid Visa cards. I'm trying to save up for a $100 prepaid Visa, which is the highest one they've got. It costs 100,000 points. I am currently just shy of 80,000 points. I have 79,350 or something like that. So I'm going to put my personalized link in the description here. For every person that uses that link and completes at least 4 surveys, I'll get 2,000 points. So if just 10 people watching this will use that link and finish 4 surveys, then I'll be right at the door of getting the $100 card. So, like I said, the surveys aren't hard. They don't take a lot of time. They mostly ask your opinions about stuff. Pretty much every survey I do has a section asking me about what shows I've watched on TV or something like that. Or my thoughts on how Trump is doing or something. It's not a bad way to pass the time if you got nothing else to do, and it doesn't take long if you do have other stuff to do. It would really help me out if you could use my link to do that. And after you finish 4 surveys, if you don't mind the surveys too much, you could even keep going with them and save up points for yourself to get cards. They've got cards ranging from, I think, $15 all the way up to $100. So, and who can't use more money? This world is all about money. And if you ain't got it, you ain't really getting much in this world. So, yeah. Free prepaid cards in exchange for some time doing surveys. Worth it to me. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Ring that bell up there so you'll get alerts when I put up new content. And I look forward to next time. See you guys.